The National Religious Broadcasters, or NRB, says over 380 million Christians face serious persecution globally, a statistic that rarely makes headlines. NRB President and CEO Troy Miller recently wrote about this in an op-ed. He's one of the speakers at a panel tomorrow at the Museum of the Bible, and Troy joins us now. Troy, thank you for being here. In your op-ed, you wrote that Christian persecution is being downplayed by mainstream media. Can you tell us what you're seeing or not seeing and what you believe is behind the lack of coverage?
Yeah, and I think not seeing is the key word. You don't see this covered in any of the mainstream media outlets, the legacy media there. And so it's clear that there's a, anti-Christian bias to reporting on this. Yet, if there are other religious groups that have seen persecution, it often makes not just the reporting, but the headlines. So we have a real problem here. And this is why we're holding this event tomorrow at the Museum of the Bible, and why we're asking Christian communicators to really step up and fill in the gap.
So that's part of it, stepping up and filling in the gap, but maybe a little bit of your own postulating as to why there is this anti-Christian bias.
Well, look, I think that the mainstream media really has this progressive left ideology. We know that from other forms of Christian bias and reporting and cancellation culture that they've had there. So they look at Christianity itself as not just something they disagree with, but a problem in the world. And so therefore reporting on Christian persecution around the world, they think that would bring sympathy to the Christian cause, and that's just something they're not willing to do.
We just talked about Nigeria. We often talk about the underground church in China. You mentioned more than 380 million Christians who face high levels of persecution. Troy, what are some of the regions or cases that you think deserve more global attention?
Yeah, and that's the issue is it's global right now. It's hard to say. I mean, Nigeria is certainly the largest amount, with over 100,000 Christians displaced from their homes there. You talked about the recent kidnapping that just went on, and that was after the U.S. asked the Nigerian government to step in and prevent this kind of persecution. But look, we have the same thing going on in India. The rise of the Hindu nationalism has caused a number of persecutions. Missionaries, churches have been killed, churches have been burned down. In Europe this year, what used to be a center of Christian beliefs, there have been over 1,000 arson incidences at churches all across Europe. So you can't there's almost no continent you can look at right now where there isn't heavy Christian persecution going on.
As we reported, and as you well know, Troy, the Trump administration just tightened immigration rules for 19 countries, a number of which are known for Christian persecution. Troy, are you at all concerned that the crackdown could make it more difficult for believers to escape violence or seek asylum?
No, I don't think so, because while the Trump administration has cracked down on some of those countries, they've also said within the immigration policy that Christians, people that are actually fleeing persecution, will get some of the higher priorities. So that's something that we're talking to the State Department about and talking to the administration to make sure that those policies still stay in place. So
those policies would include exceptions for people from some of those 19 countries or other places?
That's what we're going to be fighting for, yes.
All right. Well, finally, looking ahead to tomorrow's panel at the Museum of the Bible, what do you hope comes out of that conversation? And then also, in addition to that, how can viewers engage with this crucial issue?
Yeah, so what we're hoping is, first of all, one, we want to get this awareness out there because, like we said, the mainstream media is not covering it all. So we want to make sure that the church and the Christian communities are aware of what's going on. And ultimately, we're hoping that it's going to affect U.S. foreign policy, because we're happy with the Trump administration, pleased with what they're doing in Nigeria, the pressure they're putting there. Hopefully, that's going to actually, with the president declaring the state of emergency, that's going to create some change there. But this needs to happen to other countries around the world. So we need the State Department to step up and have some other countries identified as well. Look, Christians, first and foremost, always need to be in prayer, but you can go to nrb.org and we'll have links up there for places where you can go and take actionable steps to help fight Christian persecution around the world.
The NRB's Troy Miller, thank you so much for highlighting this very important issue that our viewers and the rest of the world need to know about. Troy, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.